Justice. We have a request, try to be mindful of the side conversations in the back. It is, for whatever reason, you can hear them up here, so just be mindful, as we move forward here. Our consent agenda today, has got 3 different meeting minutes. We get the special council meeting, the 2nd of May, public hearing, the 13th of May, and the regular council meeting for the 13th of May. Also includes the water sewer termination request.
Okay, I have some questions about May 13th.
The council and the public hearing.
Council, thank you. Okay, on page 5, I moved to elect Marion Wharton to replace Brian Falk, and I don't think he was replaced. I think we ended up saying to Brian is supposed to stay, right? Go to the next one. Right, I'm not looking. Thank you. And then I was wondering if, do we say re-elect or do we say appoint? Or does it doesn't matter? Okay, so should we have maybe change those if it said elect or re-elect to appoint or reappoint? Okay. So there was some. That was it.
I do.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including the special council minutes from May 2nd, the public hearing from May 13th, and the regular council meeting minutes on May 13th.
President of the Council Coates has made a motion to approve the consent agenda to include the May 2nd, special council meeting minutes, the public hearing from May the 13th, regular council meeting from May the 13th, as well as water and sewer termination requests. Councilor Panther has seconded that motion. Any debate, any concerns about it?
I think we forgot to ask, Mandy, were there any water and sewer termination requests there?
No. Very good. All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Next portion of our meeting, petitions and delegations. For all comments, please state your full name and whether you are an Elford City resident. All comments are limited to 5 minutes per subject unless City Council has further questions. Is there anybody who would like to speak to council today? Oh, come on.
I'll be real brief. I haven't been attending the city council meetings for some time and you know, it's detriment for me. But I want to say that several years ago, I came before this council and most of the members were on that council at that time. And I said, I'd seen a great knowledge base here, but not a lot of wisdom gained from experience. And I'm here today to tell you that not only do I see the great knowledge, I see some amazing wisdom on this council based from the experiences that you've all gone through from life, from careers, and especially through this council. And I want to tell you how much I appreciate you all. And I'll tell you, several of you I've known since you were little in different capacities. And I'm so proud of the adults that you've become and the fine, amazing people that are on this council, including Don. You know, I love Don. He's a hoot. But I know, why do they do that? And I wanted to address Darcy. I want to say that I appreciate what your commitment here is, that from last week's meeting, the stress that it brings you, that I see, but yet you honor that commitment. And that speaks volumes for people because, you know, this is an amazing council and, I forgot to tell you, I'm Jan Von Traeger with the Elgin Housing Authority. But I'm proud to know you all and I'm proud of the job that you do here. So
Thank you.
you hear the negative all the time.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Mike, you want to come up?
Michael Walsh, city resident. It appears to me that the drama of recent city council meetings has distracted everyone from the real issue. The reality is that we have an elected official who has ignored the legal advice of our city attorney, made commitments outside the city council meetings for which that person has no authority. This individual attempted to violate the Kansas Open Meetings Act by calling for an executive session regarding a topic not allowed in your agreement to include an unauthorized person. And I believe the council still has leeway to report this to the county attorney or state attorney general. This elected official attempted to add an unenforceable and probably illegal clause to the contract of the city administrator without the knowledge or approval of the city council, and has implied that there are issues with the work of the city administrator and city attorney without providing any credible evidence, which could be construed as creating a hostile work environment. Finally, this individual has failed to maintain civility and decorum during city council meetings, although it is a function of his office, and has been one of the biggest agitators. As an elected official, such actions can put the city of Ellsworth in unnecessary legal jeopardy and does not serve the community. In the military, I learned that you can delegate authority, but not responsibility. That's all I have to say. That's questions. I do have another topic. I spoke recently with the city staff regarding the TIF funds. And currently there is like 1.2 million in funds available. And there is about $700,000 in outstanding debt that's being paid down. And I think the council should look at possibly paying down part of the principal of that debt and saving hopefully some of the money that would be going to, what is that? When you're paying off the loan. Interest, that's it. I knew we'd get there. Anyway, that's all I got to say on that too.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. All right, anyone else? Alan, come on.
I'm Alan Byerly, resident, used to be a business owner, even twin, make happen, yeah. But I just want to say on behalf of the veterans, the American Legion, families of veterans, I appreciate you allowing your city crews, particularly Troy Crawley, to put up these banners. And the new ones are up, all the banners are new, except for about 7 of them. And they look a lot better than the old ones, and hopefully they're going to last a little longer. But I know that it takes away from a busy schedule that the city department has, but I was working the reunion, taking tickets, and got a lot of feedback from people coming back that they just think it's great. So we have a few more left. I'm working with Troy to find out exactly how many spaces we have left. But this will be an ongoing project. And, it's not a fundraiser. We don't want money off of it. It's good service. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I do.
Oh, come on up, Mary.
Do I want to come up 3 times or do I want to stay and stand up?
Just like Michael, just 5 minutes per subject.
Okay, so I have a couple of things here, brief mention. I've been talking some with Dustin in the end of more with you. And, the cemetery thing, I don't know what all we're gonna be talking about that day, but that's not what I want to talk about right now. I would like to throw something I did, guys, for consideration. And it's regarding Dan's wages. And he's wanting to put that towards a benefit, something that would benefit a charity here in town. And my question is, why don't each of you do that? Because that would be a big boost to the charities that can use it. That's no way you can get everyone for being here. Would be a boost. Any little thing helps charities. And I was curious about, you guys want to think about that and talk about that among yourselves and think about maybe donating yours too. That's one. Decorum. I think that the last two meetings have shown that we need a quorum. And I think from what I've been seeing, this meeting, we're going to have. I see that as a very big positive thing. So I want to say that. I want to have to say it at some point, because like the way it's going to work. I want to talk about grief. That's my first subject. For those who do not know, most of you do, but some of you do not know, I am a registered nurse with a lot of training in cardiac and just name it, I've been there and done it over the years. I have a lot. So I understand grief very well. I have two dead children. I understand grief. I understand when my father died, it took me by surprise because he wasn't supposed to do that. I know Dan's lost 3 family members in 1 year. And so he's dealing with grief. All of those at some point are dealing with grief, and with grief comes anger and resentment and denial. All these different stages that Dr. Kubler-Ross talked about. And we move back and forth between them because we never get, sometimes we get to acceptance and we stay there. That doesn't always happen. And so I just think that everybody should be more aware that everyone is faced with grief and loss. But we don't know where they're at that at any given time. So we need to have that understanding. So that's what I'm saying there. My education and my years of major trauma and hospitals in Denver and here in Seattle, I learned a lot. So that is a subject I'm qualified to keep going. Plus, Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross was actually a friend of mine after Sandy. We would talk and email a lot. And that was in 1990. So I am well educated. So also, if anybody ever has a problem, I always have it here. You can always sound out. I'll help you.
Thank you.
Thank
Mary.
you, one.
Anybody else? Lyle?
No.
No one else, okay. But, okay. All right, moving on to new business. So we're gonna do the presentation of the final City of Ellsworth 2023.
Good evening. I'm Danielle Hollenshed, for those of you who weren't here last year. I'm with Adams Brown, and I go through this rather quickly. So
stop me if you have any further questions or if there's anything you want me to go into deeper. Hopefully you've all had a chance to kind of look at it. I will start with the letter that was on the front or on the outside. This is the report on examination procedure not last year, when COVID went into effect. All the federal funding that was coming out, they gave us basically to not do a full single audit if the reason that you're reaching that threshold was because of those COVID funds. So instead, we just audited those COVID funds. And so this letter on the very first page, towards the bottom, we are giving an opinion on the special requirements that were required to be tested on those funds. And you received a clean opinion, basically stating that in all material respects, with those requirements referenced above, and those are in the first paragraph, we didn't find anything materially wrong on this. So that was a separate exam from the financial statements. And then I'll go ahead and jump into the bound copy, and we'll come back to the letter. So on page 1, 2, and 3, this is where we do our independent auditor's report. And at the very beginning, in the second paragraph, you'll see you get an adverse opinion on generally accepted accounting principles, and that's because you weigh the gap every year and you instead follow regulatory basis of accounting. So you're receiving an unmodified opinion on regulatory basis of accounting, and again, that's the highest opinion you can receive, basically stating that financial statements are in our respects are materially clean, and so that's what you're looking to get in these financial statements. The second page is where we go over responsibilities of management. And it also goes through auditor's responsibilities. And I always recommend you read through this because sometimes there's very confusion on what we do and what we're looking at. And so I remind you to go through that, but I'm going to read through it for you. So if you turn to page 4, this is that financial statement that we're issuing that opinion on. It's a 1-page financial. The city pools their cash, and Kansas requires you to do one financial for all funds. And at the end of the year, you ended with 4.1 million. And this is a decrease of about 259,000 over the prior year. And when you look at the funds, you can see most of that is attributable to your capital project fund, which you're working to get completed and down to 0 as soon as those projects are done. So that's kind of expected to see that your cash is fund. The next several pages are the footnotes to the financial. Kansas did not come out with any new policies and procedures that you necessarily have to follow. That would be significant to these footnotes. This basically just goes through what the city follows as far as accounting policies, what the state requires you to follow. So I won't go through any of those necessarily in detail. I will have you flip to page 9. One thing we do look at is about, I think it's like 8 or 9 pages of Kansas statutes that the city has to follow. We did have one that we cited in here. It's not necessarily the city, it's for their bank. The state requires that there's a custodial and a security agreement with the bank. That's for every municipality in the state. For some reason, the bank that they use doesn't do those. So we did note that here. I don't necessarily know the background on the bank side, but something to look into. And then if you turn to page 13, this is the long-term debt schedule for the city as of December 31st. And you have about 5.8 million in debt at the end of the year. And it's expected to be paid off in 2041. One thing that this KMAG did come out with, you do have to include any leases that are material to the financial statement for what we used to call operating leases, and also software agreements that go over multiple years. If there were any of those, we would also include those, but you did not have any of that. And then the last page I want to go through is page 14. This is just a summary of expenditures, actual budget, and just to show that here we did not have any budget violations for the year. And then the remaining several pages are each individual fund. Gives a comparative to prior year, which to me makes you understand the fund better. So I'm looking at that versus the budget. If you want more detail, it's fine, but I won't get into any of those individually. And then the last piece I wanted to go through is this letter. We are required to give, governance an update on how the audit went and any findings that we had. We did have any difficulties getting the, audit completed. We did not have any disagreements with management. We did get the information timely, and we did get it completed much quicker than we have in the past year. So, it did go relatively quickly this year. The third page, I do want to go over the audit recommendation. Most of these were actually on there, actually all of them were on there last year, so none of these are new, to see, but we did take some off. So even though these are still on there, we did clean, the management did clean up some of the ones that are no longer on there. So do you want me to read through these? Have you guys seen these? Have they seen them?
I may have had,
Okay, they have seen them.
they're in the back.
Okay, so I will read through them, and instead I'm just gonna open it up to you. Do you have any questions on any of the findings that you read?
Basically, Dustin and the gals downstairs have done a good job. We're all.
Yes, and keep in mind that we are looking at the financial statements themselves. There are still some procedures and controls that can use some cleaning up. And that is where the segregation of duties really comes into play on that last page. The numbers themselves, though, they do a good job of getting things where they need to go in the funds. And we did see a lot. Last year, we actually had a significant efficiency on accounts payable, and it was much better this year.
That's part of the revamp of our personnel manual, which we're including a lot of I have a lot of back and Daniel stuff. Let's go to the next one is financial policies. We have to meet that per recommendation.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Dustin is signing the references after their approval, and they feel that giving copies of those. Thank you.
We need an approval, Mr. Mayor, I'm requesting an approval of the audit and permission to sign the letter she's requesting to upload the state. I have the motion.
Mr. Mayor, I made a motion. I move that the city council approve the final audit report for the city of Ellsworth for the fiscal year 2023 as presented by Danielle Hollington. Is that right? Yeah. CPA from Adams Brown. This includes the acceptance of the audit report, the recommendation letter, and the agreed upon procedures report for ARPA federal funds. Furthermore, I authorize the city management to sign the attached representation letters and proceed with the submission of the audit report to the state and federal audit.
All right, Counselor Coase has made a motion to approve the audit report by Danielle. And Counselor Hanson has seconded that motion. Any questions about this before we approve it? No? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. We sign the motion.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Danielle.
Thanks.
Thank you, Council. Thank you, Daniel. Alan, if you want to take it back.
All right, next item on the agenda, the chip seal curb and gutter bids discussion decision.
Mr. Mayor, I request that Troy make this presentation.
Please, yeah.
I think you got figures there in the agenda, except for there's one mistake that Dustin and I made there. I gave him some of the curb and lawn grading quotes from Kyler and Son. And he added them all together. I'm not gonna do near that many. But it's not in the budget to do that, so. Give you the figure there. I think it was 68,565. That's incorrect.
it should only be 31,065.
And then the stuff that you have city council's fund will be able dots next to it.
Yeah, just, they give me quotes on everything around town that I pick out that's needing the worst, and I pick out what we can afford to do and prioritize those, so. There's gonna be one down on Second Street to the south of the grade school, from Douglas to Lincoln, a short stretch on Lincoln, First to Second Street. And, the other one is over on the Fourth Street, in front of the old stone church there. Doing that because that's part of the project that's being done on Douglas, so that way to complete that over there to the out.
Circle C's been doing chip seal for
Yes, yes, we've used them, and they've been the lowest bid every year since I've been in charge of it. I don't know how far that goes back. Delvin, but, this year I asked, a lot of same ones and a few other newer ones, like Apex of them, and they didn't even apply this year. So, Circle C is the only one, and he actually bid it out at the same cost as last year. So there's no increases for the square yardage and application.
That's nice. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
And I added on some there, I guess, to explain some, we were gonna do some work around, co-op and, if we don't get to that point, because co-op's not been able to participate their part maybe because of the drought and everything. If I don't use it there, I use it on other streets that I have figured out on a normal rotation, so. I'm hoping to do it, but things got to look better into for their participation. There's some other that I'm doing up at the rec center, the parking lot. One road on the cemetery, up on the new cemetery. The rest of them are just on regular routines that we do around town every so many years to get back.
So one thing I'd like to add is a shout out for you and Dustin. Mrs. Cheryl or Bruce Broody caught me this afternoon, said I want to give a compliment to Troy Pollock and Dustin and any other city guys that went up and took that tree and hit 30 the other night. She said, they come right out. She said, we were surprised. They were out and moving the tree down the road. He said, well, they were surprised me more. The city administrator was out there working. So I give a shout out that, you know, you can, like you say, you hear the negative a lot, but they were really thankful you guys got that out, pushed it back to the curb. And I think yesterday all got together, got all.
Yes, I'm proud of the homeowner for cleaning up their end of the deal. So
Yeah, so just want to let you know, you did get a nice compliment.
thank you, and thank them. So,
Well, I didn't know if you had other fellow city guys there with you.
no,
Okay, just you and Dustin.
yeah.
He did the work, I just called.
Very good. But anyway, thank you for your
Yeah.
help.
Okay. So what would the total be for guidance? You need to just.
31,065.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the bid for the chip seal, not to exceed 57,000. And the bid from Connor and Son, not to exceed 32,000.
I'll second that.
We have to approve the Brian's prevention.
Those are separate from your totals.
Yes, they come in, and that's the rock they use for chip seal
But they're
and
separate.
the hollow, yes, and it just comes out of a different part of the budget, so. It's all in the budget.
Oh, you have it written down?
I did.
Nothing written down. I was trying to wing it. Okay.
You did a great job.
I move the city council approve the following actions regarding chip seal and curb gutter projects. Approve the bid for Circle C paving, for the chip seal project, the amount of 56,000.
32,000.
Okay. 56,000.
No, that's right.
290.
Thank you.
And then approve the additional expenditure of 10,650 for Venture Rock. approve the additional expenditure of $3,300 for the hauling of rock by White Construction. Approve the bid from Tyler and Son for the curb and gutter project for $32,000.
I'll say, where's the 32?
Well, we had to change it, 'cause remember that they had all one,
Okay.
so it's just
Okay,
It was 31.
68 for everything we're only doing.
okay, so. You seconded it? No?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Councilor Nart has, made a motion to approve the chip seal project. And Councilor Panther has seconded that motion. Any concerns, debate? None? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, Trip.
All right, next item on the agenda is the discussion decision regarding ordinance number 3142. Go ahead, Dustin.
Patrick and interim chief Jeff Weigel, heard me read off the water warning. And, they did not, they were rather freaked out that you could get jail time after your second offense. Mandatory jail time. So Patrick called me the next day, as well as Jeff Weigel, expressing his concerns with their chief Weigel, that they thought that was not the best solution. So, this is the enclosed ordinance. We did have to have the signature line in the final version, but, this is the language that Patrick sent me to use to, and the clerk's office told me which ordinance number to use. We have to final with the signature blocks. But, it's just basically changing the language in that final paragraph to may, include jail time. It's just making that one word change, so it makes it a little less, I don't know what adjective you want to use, judicial.
Are those fines kind of in line with other communities our size?
I'll be honest with you, Jessica. So, we just changed the language of the jail time.
So when does, it's a water watch?
Well, this is just an ordinance changing the language
Gotcha.
in the code to change it from mandatory to may. So it was,
So when will, this will take effect as of today, tomorrow?
when we publish it in the newspaper, which will probably be next week.
Okay, I'll move to approve ordinance number 3142. An ordinance amending the portion of section of 82-24-100 Code of the City of Ellsworth relating to violations of mandatory water conservation within the city limits.
All right, Councilor Panther has made a motion to approve ordinance number 3142. Councilor Hanson has seconded that motion. Any debate, concerns? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, the next one is the discussion and decision regarding Article F of the Personnel Policies and Procedures. Go ahead, Chip.
As you know, I've been on the project of rewriting the personnel and policies and procedures manual. On the last one, I updated it with various things like credit card policy and things. This one, is a lot of our leave policies. And, I've had a lot of internal conversations with staff and, just trying to update it to be in line and also help me introduce the staff and give the staff better guidance on things. Some changes that I propose making to our benefits to the staff. One of them that I was really focusing on was instead of maternal leave, I listed as parental leave. And after some internal debate, I originally had it one, so the version that you have is not with the staff, and I debated this morning. And the version that you have is just per annum. But we are proposing that we use that it's 4 weeks parental leave for each event. And it would be paid. That's one thing. The other change that I am proposing to our internal policy is to our FMLA on the Family Medical Leave Act. Instead of us making them pay the high COBRA rates when they're not getting paid, I propose that we pay for our portion of the medical for the duration they're on their 12-week leave. They would have to pay their portion back, but I guess my perspective is that if someone's recovering from FMLA, I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. Paying for COBRA is a much higher expense, while I'm also trying to recover from an ailment. So that's why I thought that those were two good changes. Also, I'm trying to think of what changes I can make to our policy and update them to work. Retainability and try to help with staff retention when I add additional things that I think from the risk perspective, whether just us covering their medical leave for the 12 weeks or out, I feel it's a small expense to help them get benefits. That's my perspective. I'm open for debate. Those are the two main updates other than just rewording. I think I made one small change. I added a cat, I added a line on the vacation leave, I added it to 20 if you stay for over 15 years. Just little things like that to try to enhance what we offer our staff. I know there's a lot of other little things that I'm not mentioning, but those are some of the big things that I anticipated. I didn't know. So I just proposed them as ways to help me retain staff and attract new staff.
What about the gentleman that approached us about giving people sick days off? How are they gonna affect him any?
We're working with them on that. I don't feel comfortable discussing.
Sure, I just want to make sure that he was included in this. So
He's still employed.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's my question.
How will you know if someone is misusing their sick?
I don't.
Angie required after.
After 3 days, it's specified the department head or make it required. So, yeah. So it's the discrepancy that we have on leave, on vacation leave during termination, that was in the rest of the policy they get her. Or unused vacation. On termination. That's pretty good.
I feel like this might be getting in the weeds just a little bit, but like when in our sick leave for family and like parental leave, it includes like foster kids. Or any dependent living in the house. So I don't know if that's something you want to include, should know if I was taking care of my brother because he had a disability. I mean, I could use my sick leave to take a little bit.
We do have something about that family. But I can add language about foster kids and the extended family.
Yeah, and I know, like parental leave includes like adoption too. So
Yes,
like if you're.
adoption and surrogate.
Yes, like that, so just wanted to make sure.
Childbirth adoption. That's how
When we approved, revised Article F, the Jessica's additions.
Yep.
Okay, I made a motion that we approve Article F, the Jessica's additions to the policies and procedure manual. And last talk about it presented.
I'll second that. Councilor Panzer has made a motion to approve the Article 11 of the Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual with the changes Jessica has noted. Councilor Renard has seconded that motion. Any other details? Any additions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, unfinished business, the Kirkham Michael update. Come on up, John.
Good evening. I'm gonna start off in the plaque presentation to the city. This is for the cost share sidewalk improvement project, which was completed a year ago. They're kind of around the downtown area, south of the grade school. Carmichael's been a part of the Ellsworth community for 34 years now. I've been a part of 19 of those. We really enjoy being in Ellsworth. It's a great town. We're very proud of the projects we've done here and the community as a whole. So we like to promote our community whenever we can. This award we submitted is from the Kansas Ready Mix Concrete Association. It's called the Municipal Concrete Awards. It was to highlight good work in concrete products. And it was selected for an award presentation for a plaque. So if I can, I guess give it to the mayor.
And John.
You can take a picture.
Yeah, that's planned. He never. He's smart.
You guys would let me know this stuff happens. I don't know what to turn my camera on.
Just don't.
You should.
Get behind him. Can you do mine to the show?
Would be a classic.
There you go, yeah.
You want to, right side up?
Yeah, you. I can do that.
Well, probably read it better if I took that off.
Here.
That black scratch is up in these. You know.
Okay, can I get one more for the road?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yep. Thank you, yeah. Yeah, it looks great.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll make it on. Thank you, property to it.
That's not up to me.
Was it neat?
How much is it worth?
It was a unique project because there was a lot of people involved outside of Carmichael in the city. There was 2 private businesses involved that helped finance the project. There was a lot of coordination involved. We appreciate all those people coordinating together to get that project done. It looks nice. It's been a nice dress up for that area. Quick updates on some project items on the multi-use path. Just sharing that KDOT has approved the change order request to have the contractor install a rectangular steel drain across the path to convey water from that ditch north of the Good Sam property. Actually, just got word this afternoon, the contractor has the rectangular drainage pipe ready, and they're planning to come in and install it yet this week and get that project finished up. With that change order, KDOT the funding will cover 80% of the cost of that work. We can get it completed and close out. The KDOT Seacliff resurfacing project, and if you recall, when I talked about this, I'm not guaranteeing the start date. And lo and behold, we've got word that it's getting pushed to at least June 19th because of weather and other delays that the contractors experienced in other projects. So originally we were crossing fingers that might start next week, at least a couple of weeks to wait. Yeah. The final 2, really the final project is a sanitary sewer study. We're checking with KDHE to find out if they were going to approve our additional information we provided to them about the installation of the sewer lines. Still have not gotten a response back from them on that item. And the cost share funding application, I was told that maybe in June is what KDOT had been saying before. Now, keep our fingers crossed as well that we might get some funding for that. That's what I have for this evening.
Sean, I got some question for you.
Yes, sir.
We got a rain,
We did.
3 inches, right?
Fair amount of rain.
And that, but it worked basically, Park, the detention basin work overall.
That's what I was told.
Okay, so, all right, so to me, I think that's important because, that's what we've been waiting on to see it tested, and it was. We didn't take out the rock ledge, right? Remember, we left that rock ledge in there, so we took away some of the volume. how much more rain could that thing hold than the 3-inch rain? It could handle the 4-inch rain like that.
Probably, the hard part of answering that is rainfall intensity and the timing.
How dry-
So
Right,
the amount depends on a lot of where it falls, how fast it falls, but it's designed a larger storm than it.
right. How much did we lose from not taking the rock? 20%, 15%?
You're taxing my.
Right, this is not generous.
Percent
Okay,
from our south.
and why did we not do that? Was it the expense, or we had a dynamiter, or what was the?
Largest part of that was the expense of excavating the rock.
Right,
That was a change in condition from what was, originally planned, was just gonna be soil excavation.
right,
And the fact that it's a pretty minimal, I said 50% of the south basin, probably 5% of the overall detention. There's 2 different basins, one north, one south.
right. All right, so when you did your Christie Park Advisory Committee, right?
Yes.
Well, that was Brad or Brian, was the name? Brad Foster.
Right.
Brian Foster, that's right. So the issue was raising the bottom of it. But when we talk about lowering, you're dealing with pumps.
To drain the water out.
Right? Would there be a possibility of looking into that, since it worked, I mean, is there money out there to do that type of thing? To really give these folks what they wanted, like, really what they wanted was some topsoil on it, but they didn't want to raise it up and they wanted to be brought down. Now they've seen it work, it's like, what is out there? Is there any funding out there to do something like that? To extend it, to make it deeper?
Well, I don't know about, probably not KDOT, because
Right.
they've already financed this one.
Right, it is what it is, it is.
Depending on what the outcomes desire to be, there might be, through some different grants, Dane Hansen, for instance.
Right,
If there's some beautification involved with it somehow,
right,
maybe that's a possibility.
okay,
Keep in mind that the state the project was left in, it was supposed to get 6 inches of topsoil placed on it.
right,
That was never done.
right,
So it's actually 6 inches lower in a lot of areas than it was supposed to be.
right,
So that does afford a little bit of cushion there.
right. Very good, I just, we're gonna have this discussion and, see where we go from here, just wanted to ask some questions about it.
There's lots of options
Yes,
for the basin itself.
right.
It could be a hole dug out to provide a water feature.
Right,
It's a deep hole, even if it fills up with water, it's just a hole of water. It doesn't take away any capacity.
Right.
It is now.
right, and that was the key, is not to take away the capacity, but to beautify it. And so if we could achieve that, I think everybody would be happy, because it functioned as planned,
It did.
so that's important.
It kept the water at a steady flow, so when it goes through the tunnel,
Right,
there they
you did, yeah.
jump out into Douglas and run down the street, flood downtown.
I know you're not a meteorologist, so a 3-inch rain, we've had more than that before.
Absolutely.
How often will we have rains that will be more than that? 5 years?
Well, that's a matter of probability. And
Right.
That's why they've changed the description of storms. They used to call them like a 100-year storm.
Right.
People thought, well, that means it's only gonna happen once every years. Now they call it a 1% probability.
Right,
It could happen 10 days in a row. It's highly likely. But Mother Nature, and if you're a climate change proponent, I mean, there's no way to.
right,
But it's gonna happen
right,
sometime, somewhere. It's gonna happen.
right. Well, very good, I'm sure you feel validated a little bit.
I feel pleased that
Yeah.
it did what it was intended to do.
Good. Because that's the first test we've seen was that. Since we got it done in 22, August, September, October 22, this is the first real heavy rain we've had, so it was nice to see.
It's rated back.
Yeah,
That's the question I had too, not with that, with downtown Main Street. We talked earlier about maintaining the parking angles. If you got that plotted, measured out, so put the lines back.
Yeah, they'll be put back pretty much exactly like they are.
Okay, great, because that way we get our longer vehicles on Main Street without,
Right, jam.
there's not much room, it's a 4-door pickup with an extended bed on each side of the road. That's pretty close, so
It is.
if we keep that angle the same, we'll be good.
Yep, it's all the way.
On the sidewalk, so you said KDOT's covering 80% of that.
Right.
Who's covering?
So that would be on the city, but it is, because the overall project came in under budget, it's not gonna, the city won't see a cost increase from the original budget.
Okay.
Very good. Anything else, John?
That is it.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for your shit.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is 705 East Fourth Street resolution. Sure.
Pass on this.
Yeah.
All right, at the April 22nd council meeting, you guys voted to condemn that property. But going back with the ordinance, you actually have to do that. Yes. The resolution. To make it official, it has to be a written resolution. And name a certain specific time that you want it done by, or else you need to start. And we just put 60 days in there, you know, that's what we come up with, you can do how many days you want in there.
What do we need?
I wrote it out, yeah. You had any signs on?
If you are happy with the resolution that's presented, it's 2024-13, and the time period that it specifies. So it's,
It doesn't have a time.
Yeah,
Okay.
60 days from the 22nd.
yeah. Well, 60 days from today, since we didn't have the resolution done in April. So that's gonna be plenty of time. And then at the 60 days of completion, no later than October 2024, once it starts. So give them 60 days to start, 60 days completed.
That's in that little area across from the park, so. Yeah, you draw
Yeah,
the pictures and everything, yeah.
I put a picture in my hand too. So that's plenty of time on my books.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adopt resolution 2024-15, finding that the structure at lots 5, 6, and 7, except the north 60 feet of lot 7, all of lot 16 and left addition to the city of Ellsworth. And that part of the vacated alley lying adjacent thereto, all of lot 16 and left addition to the city of Ellsworth, County, Kansas. Commonly known and referred to as 705 East 4th Street, Ellsworth, Kansas, is unsafe and dangerous, and directing that the structure be removed and the premises be made safe and secure.
I'll say.
Do you have this, do you have to add a date? It's in 60 days.
I was so willing to do the rest.
Okay, as long as that's in the resolution, you don't have to put it.
Okay. All right, Councilman Hanson has made a motion to adopt resolution 2024-13. It's the finding the structure of lots 5, 6, and 7, except that the north 60 feet of lot 7, all in block 16 of Lakes Addition to the city of Ellsworth, and part of the vacated alley, lying adjacent there to all in block 16 of Lakes Addition to the city of Ellsworth, commonly known and referred to as 705 East 4th Street. Is unsafe and dangerous, and directing that the structure be removed and the premises be made safe and secure. And Councilor Panther has seconded that motion. Any concerns about that?
Okay, I've got some questions.
Okay.
So when they were here the last time, he said he was trying to sell it. So what happens if he sells it? Do we have to do all this again, or does that person have to pick, like, if he sells it 30 days in, does that new owner have 30 days to like make it habitable, or how does that?
I don't honestly know that.
Cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay,
but I believe it follows the property. Without a legal opinion, you can't.
okay.
If you go with it, if you bought it, it's still.
Then if he buys it day 59, he's got.
Because I think that's with Mr. Urban sales going there, banks are foreclosing on that, I think, or whatever we do.
Then would they be able to ask us for an extension?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You guys and gals are good, but you can rent.
Gotcha. Now, if nothing's been done in what, 120 days, is it 60 days, is it 60 days, then who pays for it? Like, if he just like, forget it, is that a cost on the city?
Yeah, and we go after tax, that on the taxes. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, a lot of-
Unfortunately, the odds of getting the money back is not usually in our favor. But the ROI we get cleaning up another property is more than we expect.
Sure.
And it's also advantageous if I can work it out with Troy, or if we add some more funding in certain areas to make that happen, use the city staff, and we don't have to worry about it. Sure, plus.
If we tear the house at our expense, does he still own the lot then? Legally? That's one for Patrick, because I'm wondering if we tear the house down, he turns around and sells the lot. That's a lot worse than
Well-
whatever.
But I think
If you don't pay back what he owes us.
He's gonna pay us the five.
Yeah. so
Okay,
he's-
I thought there'd be some stipulations to that lot
Yeah, if,
later.
I like what Joaquini does. I was talking to one of my colleagues on Joaquini, they use city staff. Here. One more for that.
I can't see anybody fixing it up from the vision.
no. And by the way, CK Mill, if we were going for resolution, we found out that it was already done in 2007.
It's been condemned.
It's already.
Or the-
so- We're saying that one.
Yeah.
All right, so we get Laura's. Yeah, all right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ellen.
All right, so moving on to discussion decision on water warning resolution 2024-12. Dustin, go ahead.
After talking to Patrick, we decided that because of the nature of the resolution, I know you gave me permission, but we thought it was better to just represent it like all. Hoping that it's everything that you want us to do. From what I remember of your guidance last time, 7 PM to 7 AM to minimize evaporation. Properties with odd number addresses would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Properties with even number addresses Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And no water Sundays except in the golf course, of course, is the exception. Initial violation will receive a warning as per your request, embedded that in the resolution. And the only change I had to make to my copy that Patrick wanted me to have is just a clause that says, they have to follow the city code and references the punishment clause and fines and stuff. So that's the only thing, the two things I have.
So if they have to do it. Yeah, what do you do?
The only pushback I'm getting is on wells. Why are we not including wells? What was the rationale?
We don't have
They
any
can't-
jurisdiction over the law.
Okay.
On personal property.
KDHE controls that.
I don't think the city has any,
I would have to take.
on a personal well, I don't think the city has any
I
jurisdiction over a well.
back here, 1999, somewhere near 2000, we went on water restrictions then. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it got to be made by KDHE that no private wells will be put on. It's that severe. I didn't think the city had any jurisdiction over private wells. Things the way that.
I don't know, I
Yeah,
appreciate
you
it.
can check, but that's what I think we were told 23 years ago.
Okay.
The mayor's name is spelled wrong on this.
Yeah, we got it fixed on the final version it's signed, so I apologize.
That happens, those are the rich people. So. All right, so we need to get it in. This-
Mr. Mayor, I will make a motion to approve doc resolution number 2024-12.
I'll second, but I kind of asked it. So if Justin finds that we can, like, I don't know, have jurisdiction over private wells, I'm too offended. I mean, I've heard that the city of Hayes does for theirs, like, it's the same kind of water restriction, whether you're on city water or you're on a private well.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're not the city of Hayes, but I mean, some people are doing it and I get it, it's all coming from the same place.
That's the one thing I hear, for nothing else besides wells, so.
If it can't be done, it can't be done, I don't care, but I mean, if we can, I feel like I wanna look at it again.
And then, like me, I have, and I'm only wondering about things because how's that gonna look? See, for water, Tuesdays, Thursdays. It's like you don't have water restrictions, I'm not going there.
The mayor makes a motion with that, Jessica, and embedded in.
Do you wanna amend your motion?
Sure, yes. I'll amend
Perfect. Then I'll set it.
All right. All right, so, Councilor Renard has made a motion to approve the water warning resolution 2024-12 with the stipulation if wells can be underneath our jurisdiction, we will include those. Jessica has seconded that motion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, what do we decide to do about the remaining mayoral appointments we needed?
I removed the two that you asked. me to remove.
Right, but I think we're talking about there's some vacancies in there.
Yes.
So we want to get those.
I've got some questions. Okay, playing devil's advocate a little bit here, so. A couple of meetings ago, you said that ordinances are laws. So some of these are under charter ordinances, which in theory would mean that it's the law, right?
Yes.
So if the charter ordinance says that we have to have. And I'm just talking the tourism committee because that's the one I'm on.
Yep.
On the public building commission, so it says that we. Have to have 5, right?
Yes.
So I'm just wondering if we approve Ratika on this one, I mean, we still aren't following the ordinance, so. Are we better off to try to fill all these vacancies and then, like, I mean, we could approve the airport, it looks like they're full, but like the other 2 with the vacancies. I mean, it stinks because at least for the tourism committee, we're gonna have to kick that can down the road and tell the people that funds, like, we're not in a place where we can divvy those up yet, but.
Letter.
Go ahead.
Letter of the law.
And then, I mean, I'm fine with gray area, but if we're also devil's advocate, if we're saying that we gotta follow the letter of the law here, then should we also be following it here? And then whose responsibility is it to fill these vacancies? Is that like city administrator working with, like whoever is the chairperson of that board, or is it?
It's actually, it's,
Okay. Do we even know if that's necessary?
yep, I'm just presenting the information as it was presented to me, Stacy. I'm getting guidance, but yes, you would be correct, the 2 vacancies would be Dan makes the ones.
And how do we read these people? Through Stacy or?
That's your call. Stacy made a recommendation.
So we need 2 more.
Yes.
And Stacy and I were talking on that board, so I also noticed that it doesn't matter where you live, it just. Representatives from agencies or organizations actively engaged in promoting tourism. So that could be anyone within the community, right? If they live outside.
I think there's some categories that are.
Yes.
And when you make the appointment, then, based on what I read today, you have to list which category. they're under.
I mean, and Ratika is the hotel.
Okay.
Very on.
And these are mine?
Done.
Done. Okay.
So I would say I think we have 1 person from the general public, so the other would maybe be from. Stacy has some ideas for that. Yeah. Would make a motion to table the tourism and convention committee and the public building commission until we can fill all 3 of those slots, but then approve the airport. Mayoral minutes tonight.
I'll say.
You have to verbalize it.
Okay, so, yeah, Counselor Coates has made a motion to approve the airport appointments, including Mark Klein will be reappointed, Michaels will be a new appointment. And was that Counselor Panzer or? Counselor Panzer seconded that motion. Any debate, any concerns? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, moving along here, let's see here. Have a hard time moving that. Well, so I think we're in the department, that's right. All right, so Delvin, would you like to go first?
I,
All right. Jeff, do you have anything?
I'm looking at this now.
Okay.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the fire department and ambulance and everything? What happened this morning? Have you heard?
Which call, there was an accident on I-75.
Okay, this morning, yeah. Because I noticed the rescue went out, and a number of fire trucks. I was just concerned. if it was in town. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Troy, do you have anything?
Yes.
Hey, David, do you have anything?
I don't know if you want to talk about the building we're getting.
No, okay.
Well, if we can, there is two sheds underneath two of our water towers. They're in really terrible shape. And I'm getting. It's under 10,000. You're gonna see some construction.
Anybody else back there that didn't? Contact, all right, so no more department heads, okay. City attorney's not here, city clerk, Mandy, did you have anything?
Nothing tonight.
Nothing. City council, Tyler, did you have anything? I'm sorry, Dustin, do you have anything?
Yeah, a couple of things. The county assessor came to my office today. And he is going to be, we're doing a reassessment of Ellsworth City housing, so residents should expect him to be. And I will be putting out a letter based on everything he's told me. And I'll push it out by Facebook, by the list and send it to council in the process, but he should be wearing, while he's doing that, he will have an ID card in the front. And he will have a vest that people use for traffic and whatnot. Yeah, so he'll be taking pictures of people's homes. It's not an area stalker or anything like that. It's just the assessor is going around the neighborhood reassessing. So we'll be doing that from throughout the summer. But I'll have more specific information later on. I did get the cammering done for pipe in front, or for the sewer line in front of the city hall. And the major, we've been talking about this pipe since I got here, but I'm moving forward, I'm getting it done in the main wastewater pipe that goes underneath the railroad tracks. It's our main pipe that carries 75% of our rainwater out of the city. And so that's, Wayne has warned me about that since I've been here, so finally I'm moving and getting that fixed. The cammering was the biggest part. Now the cammering's done. I'm working on getting some bids.
Yeah.
Now that.
All right. Thank you, Dustin. City council, Tyler, do you have anything?
Yeah, I got it for kind of the gentleman, that house that Ken Arnold bought by Doc Weeks, that stucco.
Yeah.
Didn't we grant him, we gave him the money, isn't he supposed to have that thing torn down by now? So, yeah, go ahead, whoever knows.
Do you mind? No. There are two things happened. One, we did a contract. He paid the agreement that you authorized me to make with them was he paid it up front. And then if you got it torn down in a year, then you refund.
We can refund it, okay.
An update is he got, well, within 6 months. He got injured. And so that has postponed it. So at some point I was gonna come out to city council for an extension. And how much you thought that extension was. So if you wanna do that now, we'll get out of the way, because he has been slowly, Delvin, is that correct? Yeah. But it's injury postponed. Yeah. And so, I didn't know if we were gonna come to you at some point, ask for an extension. Because
So when was the 6 months, I don't even, is it getting close to June, is that,
I would have to pull the contract.
I mean, we can give him an extension.
Yeah, we could put on the, I'd be fine with that on the next agenda.
Okay, how
Dance.
much of an extension did you want me to give? Because this injury is pretty substantial.
See what the doctor tells me.
Yeah, he's got them date on.
We might have a medical condition where you need maybe 6 months.
Will you help me with that? Yeah.
I can, oh, we were talking about that out there. I remember that. Well,
Hate to get a guy with a stamp.
Yeah. Anything else, nothing else? Justin?
And maybe this is a question for White, can you do a U-turn in the middle of downtown? Can we put up a sign, like, the intersection of like Citizens and the dentist's office? Somebody did a U-turn, I think it was Friday, and I just very slowly walked across the street, just to fit them.
We've already got signs up of blocks around over.
Yeah, well, they're not going all the way to the river.
We have to see it inside.
What?
We have to see it inside.
It's the cities.
So they have to move another sign.
So even if you put a sign, it doesn't matter.
That's not gonna stop behavior, we still need to actually see them to be able to stop them.
What if I was video it next time and take it to the police?
You wanna give me a tag number and positively identify the driver, fill out a written complaint, I'd be happy to bring you.
Okay, or keep it in mind for next time. That's it.
Anything else? Okay. All right. Council Panther, you have anything?
I got two things. I talked to Alan this week in the paper. Alan said his plate was full, as you noticed, there was a lot in there last time. Just want to make sure it goes on record that last week when the surveyor mentioned all the things about the FEMA and the flood control, and he commented and he said that Dustin did exactly what he was supposed to do. So I just want to get that documented in case somebody comes back a year from now and says, you guys were wrong. No, the surveyor said we did it correctly. So I just want that to be on record. Okay. The second thing is kind of funny. This might be the chief. There's a black car driving around town that has K-dash unit on it. It's got a light bar on the top.
Carry
I said, is he violating any laws?
If he's not turning on the lights, no.
Because I know a lot of people say, is that a policeman or is that a sheriff? And I said, I don't know, but it just seems weird that it's a black car and it's made out to look like a law enforcement car. Okay,
Until he's actually acting as an emergency vehicle, get market cars. whatever.
so he'd have to turn the lights on actually to be in violation.
Right.
Okay. You seen the car?
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah.
I slow down.
Yeah. What is this?
Carry over you guys.
Okay. That's all.
Counselor. Mayor, nothing much. Just trying to get through this meeting the best we can. So, yeah, Michael, if you could set up a meeting with the state attorney general, happy to talk to him, happy to talk to the county attorney anytime. Proud of the work I've done, absolutely 100% proud of this group here. Tough stuff, making tough decisions, all kinds of laws all over the place, but I think we're navigating it. We've agreed today that we're as a group to solve our problems ourselves as much as we can. And I think we're getting there. We're making progress in that direction, so I'm proud of that. I am going to donate my pay. I'm gonna earmark it for the senior center. Angela's going to help me deposit that money into an account. And then I've got to sit down with the senior center because if money's not allocated the right way, it won't go towards salaries. I want to see it go towards salaries rather than a building fund or something like that. So I've got to sit down with them and hopefully they'll help me with that. Otherwise, if they can't do that, I'm just going to donate it to them anyway. So I'm not going to take a salary from the city. You know, I think I'm here for the leadership and just helping the citizens and doing the best job that I can. And, you know, welcome anybody else to do that too. I think it's a great idea. I think Mary brought up a great point. It sends a good, strong signal that we're united and that we're here for the right reasons. So, but of course, hold on. But of course, if they don't want to, that's their druthers too. Question?
Is that allowed by the ordinance
To do what?
to donate your salary?
I have no idea, but it was recommended by Councilor Johnson, and I said I would do it.
Simple question.
I don't know, Angela said I could do it, so.
Okay, I'm asking a simple question.
Right.
Once,
I'm not.
once once the pay is in his hands, right, he can do whatever he wants.
But if, like Aaron said, if you do not pay, then he can't decide to give it to others.
I can't, that's,
Okay, I see. That's gonna be confusing. I might have anyone.
All right, so those are my comments. We want to go into executive session?
I was gonna request. Sure.
For 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to go into executive session to include the governing body, the mayor. To get out at 7:06. Oh, to discuss matters of non-elected personnel.
I'll second that. All right, Counselor Coates has made a motion to go into executive session, include the city council, city administrator, city clerk? No?
No.
Okay, until 7:06, Councilor Renard has seconded that motion. Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? All right.
Just a reminder,